Hi, my name is Brenda Green, and I'm with Perceptive Healings. And today, we're talking about emotional eating. This is the series 2. And what I decided to do is have us run through a 1-week fasting challenge. And I'll run through some slides and kind of explain what it is, and along with the body type, so you kind of get an idea of what fasting times you're looking for. To start off with, if you just try to start off with like 12 hours and then move yourself up a little bit to like 13, 14. 14 hours is where the autophagy occurs, and that's where the cells start to eat basically those bad cells that are in the body, and that's what you want. So because the purpose of the fasting is for health, it's to release those bad or dysfunctional cells in the body. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Then let's see, we're on series 2. So doing the 1-week challenge, what we found is it works a lot better when you do it in a group versus trying to do it by yourself. When I first did a detox before that, I had never detoxed in my life. There was probably one time where I fasted, but it wasn't intentionally. It was because I had to at the time being. It wasn't on purpose for health reasons or anything. So you'll find this will make a lot of sense once you kind of experience it. To start with, it kind of helps to know the body types. So we'll cover that, and then knowing the body types and how knowing your body type will help you with your fasting times, and then more about intermittent fasting. And then I'll cover the 1-week challenge. And if you're hearing this on replay, just start it at any time. I mean, you can start it the same day and just or the following day. It doesn't matter, even if you don't get the full 7 days in. I moved the call out to September 3rd, Saturday, so that we have a little bit more time. The body constitutions, wind types, basically in Ayurveda, it goes by the elements, and the body doshas is what they call it, which is the same word as constitutions. So wind types, they call it vata. That's basically what my constitution is, the main part. And these are generally tall and thin people, or they're short. They tend to have spontaneous eating times or forgetting to eat. They're likely to experience excitement, anxiety, and overwhelm when too much is going on, and that it'll affect the nervous system, further affecting the digestive system. They will tend towards bloating, constipation, irregular eating times, and it basically tells the digestive system that it has no idea when to expect to eat. And that's where the problems kind of begin with a vata, with a wind type. And the fire types, that's pitta and Ayurveda, and these are generally the medium build, medium strength. They're sharp, fiery, ambitious. They generally have a mental intensity to them, along with a robust appetite. So it's likely that they'll experience irritability, criticism, perfectionism, and they can have issues with acidity and hyperglycemia. They tend to snack more often, and they experience a fast digestion. The cloud types or kapha, these are the people with the sturdy bodies, the larger body frame, and they tend to be more calm. They lean more towards routine habits. They have resilience. Their cravings are more often like with the sweets, and they may overeat. They are likely to suffer from excess mucus, complacency, lethargy, and stagnation. They tend towards a slow-burning digestive system. So in Ayurveda, that's kind of the concept of the smoldering fire, and that's kind of that feeling. They don't have a strong digestive system, strong appetite. On the fasting times for your body constitution, you'll see the wind types, and these are the time frames that you're working towards. The 16-8, you'll hear that commonly in the fasting, but there's in varying it makes a big difference too. And you'll see that like with the weekend, like for the wind type, it's less time, the 14-10. And most days I try to do at least the 14 hours. And just like I started the fasting yesterday evening into today. And I was only up to 13 hours right now because I'm basically resetting. I got enough of my fasting times. The fire types, you can see the 16-8 is common, and then the 18-6. And again, there's a few days of, less, like the 14-10. The cloud types, they can fast for a much longer period of time and even just having one meal. But like I said, start out just 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, and just slowly work yourself up to this kind of schedule. See where you get to. You don't have to get all the way up to this. Even just reaching 14-hour fast will make a difference. What'll be fun too is that some of us do better fasting in the morning, and some of us do better fasting in the evening. And that's one of the things I want you to kind of notice. And when you're listing your time, the less time that you eat calories, you list your time. And then when the next day, when you're breaking your fast with any calories, whether it's something you drink or something you eat, just note that time again, and that way you'll see what your fasting time, how many hours it was. Why we love this habit. Yes. This, for me, besides all the yogi habits that I've learned, the Body Thrive habits, the intermittent fasting has been the strongest, most effective tool for reducing the inflammation in the body, for restoring health as far as different chronic diseases, for helping with experiencing less pain from injuries. I mean, there's a large array of things that it will make a difference for. So when we think about doing this habit, we want to do what's best for our own body. We don't do the same thing across the board for everybody. We learn to tune into ourselves and recognize what we need for ourselves and what works best based on our schedule, our life. One of the good things with this is you'll notice a difference with your energy efficiency. So you'll have more energy, you'll have better brain health, you'll notice the clarity and focus starts getting stronger and better. Your stamina improves. It becomes easier for you to maintain your ideal weight. Plus, it will free up more time. And that's one of the things that we are all looking for, is more time. So that's why that's a good one. With men, when men fast, they can pretty much do that anytime. There aren't any limits on the best time because they don't have a cycle that's affecting their rhythm. It's just any time that they feel like they can do that. It with their schedule. That's when you do it. For women with fasting, it does rely on the cycle. So anytime less than 1 week before your cycle starts is the best time to fast. The week before your cycle starts, it's best not to fast. I mean, you could still do the 12 or 14, but don't push anything further. And when you have cravings at that time, or you need to eat more, you just do. It's honoring the body and what it needs at that time. The day one of your cycle through day 10. So when you first start using products, that's day one. Up to 10 days from that point, that's the best fasting time for a woman. And like I said, fasting together, the reason why this is such the fasting and detoxing, when I never detoxed before until I came into a community. And the lady I learned from, the first thing she taught was a detox, because she wanted to detox and didn't want to do it by herself. And then she recognized how results based that was for everybody. It was a lot easier to find support in the group and have your questions answered and experiment with different things and really truly find what's working best for you and what doesn't work. So that's why the group concept. On the 7-day fasting challenge, you just start it today. Note the time for your last calorie intake, and that'll include whether it's food or drink. And I just want to clarify on the coffee and the tea, if it has any kind of sweetener or any kind of, the oil or butter or any of those things, that's calories. With the tea, if it has honey or sugar, that's calories. The squeeze of lemon juice, sometimes that's not as much of an issue because it's such a tiny amount that it doesn't really break the fast. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. The next morning, when you first notice hunger, try to drink water, sipping hot water in a thermos. You could just keep hot water in. I mean, not like burn you. It's just like if you were drinking tea. If that's hard for you to do in the summertime, don't worry about that. We can learn more about that in the fall detox in the October for those that want to do that. Some of the things that you could do, if you're able to drink black coffee, that's perfect. You can do that. That'll even help fend off some of the appetite for a little longer. Same thing with the tea. One of the things that'll kind of get your focus off whenever you're starting to feel like you want to eat, but you want to give it a little more time, is just simple things, taking 3 deep breaths with long exhales. Walk away from the kitchen, do something else, take a walk outside, play outside, anything like that. When strong hunger shows up, break your fast. And I just want you to note the time for yourself, what time that is, and how many hours did you fast for on the first day, and then each day after that. And then think about, with your body type, how many hours will you fast, or what is your goal, basically? And like I said, just aim for at least 14 hours to start, and then you can, if you can move it up more, go ahead and do that. The fasting challenge, you're just experimenting with the times, so there's more focus on the time and not so much what you're eating. You can choose to eat a little bit more healthy, but you don't have to change your whole, what you're doing right now. That kind of tends to cause you to fail at what you want to do. So to start with, it's easier to just focus on time. Doing longer when it feels right, yeah, just do that anytime. If you feel like you can go another hour or another 2 hours, go ahead and do it. It's not going to cause any harm. It's just going to do more and more good for you, as long as it's not triggering anything, as long as you don't have any eating disorders. When you have an eating disorder, you need to be a little bit more cautious of that, just reaching that 14 hours without the intent of reducing any calories. The not worrying about what you eat, yeah, just focus on the times and your goal. Once you have your eating rhythm down, it gets easier to work on more nutritious foods. And that's something that we go into in the detox and in the 1-year journey on the habits course. We go a lot more into that, especially since I have a lot of experience with the Ayurveda foods and the microgreens, things like that. But it doesn't have to be vegan. It's just a choice. Or some people just during a detox or during a fast will eat less meat or no meat at all, or no animal products at all. But it's a choice. It's not necessary. And what is working for me? So you're feeling the benefits. The time works well for your schedule and your appetite, and your times are written down. You can also do meal planning. That kind of helps sometimes if you have a visual. And I when I write out on a meal planner, I write down my times and when I'm going to break my fast and the last time that I'm going to eat for the day. And then you can also, as you're going along, notice what isn't working for you. Did you fast too long? Did you have a craving late at night and decided to have a snack, and then you went ahead and adjusted your time with when you last ate the meal for the night? Were you feeling tremendous hunger and then you kind of overfed yourself? Those, just write those things down, but don't judge yourself. It's not anything bad. This is just the awareness itself makes a difference when you're trying this process out. That's what one of the meal planners looks like, is just write it, but you can write it out on Evernote. If you use Evernote digital, they have a template and you can use that. And then anytime after you do a challenge, it helps to spend just a little bit of time doing a reflection. You can write it down. You can use a digital app. You could use audio on your phone, just whatever works best for you. And same thing, just like what we talked about, what worked, what didn't work, what did you feel, what did you experience, what did you notice that was different or improved, especially if you notice the difference in clarity and lightness, not feeling hungry, being surprised by how long you were able to fast. And also if you had any challenges. A lot of times we have people in the house that kind of throw us off with our fasting, or our friends want us to go to lunch and there's dessert or there's something else. So just kind of take that into consideration too. The nice thing with the reflection, it also kind of establishes a structure, and the structure kind of helps when you go into a detox or into a future fast. So it's just that simple. And then I'll be sharing a little bit more about the fall detox, and it'll be on the website as well. So anytime I talk about these things, these classes, don't feel obligated like you have to do any of them. You can listen to the free talks as long as you want to. I'm not pressuring anyone. I'm just offering what I will be teaching and everything. So keep that in mind. I enjoy the talking, and anytime you have questions, you can reach out to me and ask. Thank you. Yeah, in our Meetup group, you can ask questions, or in the Facebook group. I am working on adding a chat inside my website, so that for people that don't want to do Facebook and don't want to operate there and meet up with conversations, that way it gives us a little bit of a space of our own that's more private and feels, it's kind of that safer environment. But as soon as I have that, I'm going to test it out and everything and see what I can do with that. But that'll be nice for all of us to have that.